Rage Face, cool name, says, asks, when you do your language islands, do you just read the sentences 5 times in the target language, or do you say it 5 times from memory while glancing at the native language? And then Lucas Cavuzzo has answered, once you learn it enough, you won't have to look at your language. You will just remember what the sentence means because you will also be learning vocabulary. Okay, what to do with the language islands? Once you've got the text and you've got your sentences in English or your native language, and then the target language, the sentences you want to learn, first thing I recommend is reading the sentences from native language to target language. So you read the first sentence and hello, my name is, you read it in English and then in the target language, knowing exactly what a sentence means. Yeah. Then the second language, you read it in your language and then in the target language. So every time you read the sentence in the target language, you've just read it in English or in your native language, and you know exactly the meaning of what you're reading in this moment, which will help you learn the vocab and yeah, and make it comprehensible. You do that the first time with that language island. Then you do another round, but this time you read the sentences in the target language first, and then check if you've understood the whole thing, understood the sentence. Yeah, you read it in. Let's say you learn Spanish. Read the sentence in Spanish. First time you read it in English, then Spanish. First sentence in English, then Spanish. Second sentence in English, then Spanish. That's the first round. Second round, the other way around. You first sentence in Spanish, then English. In Spanish, then English. So you're testing yourself if you understand it or not. And you do that just a couple of times. And once you've done that, you create audio files and you start doing the shadowing. I don't recommend doing the shadowing straight away with sentences that you haven't read a couple of times before, because it's going to be too much. It's just all new and you don't know the meaning of it. Maybe you know the meaning of some things, you know some vocab, but that's another one. I also recommend memorizing the vocab, keywords, especially nouns and verbs, or adjectives as well. Big, good, interesting. Memorize all those with mnemonics before you start shadowing. So when you're doing the shadowing, you don't have to look things up. You already know more or less what everything means, and then you do the shadowing, and you also create audio files that you binge listen to during the day. I was listening to Japanese on the way to the office, and then back when I'm going to the beach, I'll be listening to Japanese again. Stuff that I was shadowing yesterday. So I'm reviewing it this way. And after shadowing the lines, you start doing the retrieval practice, which is translating from your native language into the target language. But you do that last after doing everything else, because this is difficult. Uh, it's also great to learn to think in the language and get rid of the mistakes you're making and all of that. But this is the most difficult exercise. So do that last after doing everything else, right? But first, read it a couple of times. First, native language to target language, and then target language to native language, right? And then just shadow over and over.